a quick power scrap. This one I wanted to use a couple of different pieces of, you know how we always buy things and we put them in our stash and we use them once when they're brand new and you go, oh, that looks so cool. And then you don't pull it out again. That's what I wanted to do. So what I wanted to show you was, this is a, what is this cardstock called? Hang on a minute. It's actually, I didn't write it down. It's Poppy Crafts Ink Drops Rainbow printed cardstock. You get 24 sheets, 12 by 12, and they're double-sided. And they're all different colours. And for me, oh, look, I got to say, playing with the ink was so messy. I really would prefer to do it like this. So what I pulled out was, a few weeks ago, I placed an order, or I went into Kmart or whatever I did. And they had, on the shelf, they had this 4-pack of Anko brand foil leaf flakes. And there's 4 different colours. Gold, silver, bronze. I left them all in screenshots so you could see them. They're actually really, really pretty. And believe it or not, those little tiny tubs, there's a fair bit in them. 4 colours doesn't really tell me the weight. You know yourself. Foil flakes are super, super light. Now, all I'm doing here, I'm not using any special glues, tricks, photography, nothing. All I'm using is my art glitter glue, and I'm just pushing around the broken up gold flake and pushing it onto where the glue is. I let the glue sit for a little tiny bit just to sort of tack up, if that makes sense. Some of them I forgot that I'd put glue there, so I had to sort of go back and put a bit more glue there. Just to add, I've actually seen paper very similar to this, and I've had it in my stash, and I used it. And I thought, why can't I just create this myself? So the Poppy Crafts 12 by 12 paper pad, it wasn't that expensive. It was quite cheap. And the foil flakes, I think they were $3. So as you can see, it's giving you a really, really good effect. And sometimes when, as you've probably, if you've been on my channel for a little while, you know that I like a bit of shine. I like glimmer, but I don't necessarily always lean towards heaps and heaps of embellishments. If you can hear that weird noise in the background, that is my daughter's chihuahua. He came in here because he had to come in here, and now he's decided he's going to sit at the door and snort like a pig. Gizmo, out of the way. Come on your bed. Lay down, buddy. He thinks he's missing out on something because my children are putting away some groceries for me. So, on this nice, rainy Queensland day. Okay, so I've gone through and I've added that. Now, yes, foil flakes are very, very, very messy. They really are. And it's not something that I pull out very often. It's kind of like embossing powder. You just keep finding it for days and you're not sure how it even got there. And it sort of clings to things. Even though it's not glued down, it clings to things. Anyway, so what are the photos I'm scrapping today? This was just my girls being on YouTube a few years ago, actually quite a few years ago now. And they had been on YouTube and they'd seen all these girls doing makeup, and you know how the girls go down that rabbit hole. So they wanted to get into my makeup and they wanted to do winged eyes. I remember the day vividly. That's all they wanted, was the really heavy eyeshadow with the winged eye effect. We were not leaving the house like this. I do not let my children wear makeup like this all the time. Actually ever. But it was fun at the time. So here's today's little trick. Right. As you can see here, these are my embossing powders. I buy them in these little tubs because I don't do a lot of embossing. So I thought, you know what? Bang for buck. I went to Spotlight. There was a sale. I think it was 20% off or spend spend $100, get 40 off or something like that. Anyway, I do remedy this situation shortly. So what I do, as you know, I add my titles. If I'm using thickers, I add my titles or my stickers or whatever I want to use. I add them to wax paper. Now, downside to using wax paper is things don't stick to it. And the VersaMark stamp pad that I was using, that I have had, I'm not even kidding. For you, if you want to invest in something that goes a long way, I bought this VersaMark ink pad, stamp pad, 10, 12 years ago. Admittingly, I haven't used it much and I'm branching out and using it a lot more, but it is still just as sticky as the day I bought it. So if you're someone that embosses almost every other day, yours won't last as long. But what I decided to do is these stickers are called It's a Boy. Now, I bought these eons ago and I think they were like $2 in the checkout bin at Spotlight. They're on the end of an aisle. If you're an Aussie, you know what I'm talking, or even a Kiwi, you'll know what I'm talking about. The end of the aisle thing. And they were like $2. So I picked up a few of them. Now, I haven't used them very much because they've got obviously light blue through the center of them. Well, I was thinking about it last night, or the night before. I was laying in bed and I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I know I do my best thinking at 4 a.m. I'm weird like that. And here's where I fixed the wax paper thing. I literally stick these to a piece of just normal printer paper. And that way I know they're stuck on there, but look at that. I can use my VersaMark and they don't move. And I'm just using, so this particular color is just bright white. That's what the color is that I'm putting over the top. Now, I learned a couple of things with it. This is Crafter's Choice white embossing powder. 2, I have definitely learned I need a new heat gun. 3, I think you may be able to get a more opaque white. I'm thinking about getting, I've got it in my basket at the moment, the Wow brand of white embossing powder. I'm wondering if it is more opaque than the Crafter's Choice one, because I did have to do a few layers on there. And look, that doesn't bother me, but it makes for a very boring video. But I did it and I've left it in here purely to show you that it doesn't matter what color your thickers are. If you've got black embossing powder, gold embossing powder that you like, copper. I've got a copper color. I've got a gunmetal gray. I've got all different colors. I've got pink. I've got green. You can make. Don't walk past. If you don't have a Cricut, for example, which will allow you to cut your lettering really easily. If you're someone that doesn't, maybe you don't have a die cut machine and you're one of my new scrappers that you really want to get that effect, but how can you get it? And how can you get it cheaply? Because some things that you buy, they're worth that dollar because they're quality and they work every time. Sometimes, excuse me, sometimes there's certain things you can get away with using a cheaper product. Now, this is me trying, I use that in inverted commas, clean up the embossing powder. I find when I do it like that, even when I'm doing it in my box that I use, it's really, really hard to keep all the embossing powder from blowing all over my desk. So if you see some thickers, I don't know if it would work on stickers, but at least thickers. Alternatively, if you want to cut out your words on whatever cutting machine you have, whether they're die cuts, whether they're on a Cricut or a Silhouette or a Brothers Scan and Cut, whatever electric machine you have, you can cut them out a couple of times, glue them on top of each other, bang, you've got thickers. They're not sticky on the back, but you glue them down anyway. And you can put embossing powder over the top and you've got a beautiful, glossy, thick, luscious letter. And that's what I loved about these. They're so shiny and they're beautiful. They look like enamel. They're beautiful. So while I've been rabbiting on, what I want this page to do is I want it to show you that you can add a little bit of gold foil to any old background. I've used a marble one because, to be honest, I bought that pack and haven't used it yet. And I thought that sort of colour tone worked quite nicely with Jennifer's shirt. So, and pink and green go well. So that's why I did this. Now, this is me just adding my stickers, my thickers, sorry. This is how I do it. I just put a little bit of art glitter glue on. It's really cold here, so trust me, it sets up pretty quick. And which is very odd for Queensland. Don't worry, I only say it about 3 weeks a year. And this is where I just sort of touch them in the glue. That way I don't end up with big slag overhang. Do you know what I mean? You know when you squish down. Gizmo. Seriously, mate. The dog is eating paper. What is wrong with my dog? I love paper too, mate, but I don't eat it. Come on now. Okay, so I will let him out before I do the next recording. So you don't have to listen to a chihuahua chew up paper. Doesn't that sound delightful? Anyway, I'm nearly finished. I don't add a heap of embellishments to this. I do end up adding, if you look on Jennifer's hair right now, you can see my massive mistake. And I literally glued her hair. And I thought, no, I'm going to reprint it. I'll reprint the picture, stick it down again. It'll be fine. And then I thought about it and I thought, you know what? I'm going to actually just leave it as is. There I am. I realize I've done it. And then instead of just letting it dry, no, I rub it with my finger. Then I rub it with a cloth. And then I remove all the color out of the photo. So I thought, what am I going to do here? I'll just reprint it. Don't worry about it. I'll just reprint it. And then I sat there for a little minute and went, no, I'm going to put a gold heart between the two girls because they love each other very much and they look beautiful. And it, okay, would I put it there on purpose? No, but it works. So here's your close-up, guys. I'll have everything linked in the description below. And the horrible bit, please like and subscribe. Share my page if you found anything inspiring on this power scrap, and I will chat to you again real soon in the next video. Thanks very much for watching. See you later, guys. Bye.